We go out to a show, we'll park next to an Aventador, and more people will want to see this one than the Aventador. Because there's a lot of Aventadors around, there's not many Countachs. Hi, I'm Gerald, Director of Prova Designs. There's two directors, me and Tony Melia, and another chap called Christopher Lockhart. This is a Prova Countach, a replica we build. Been building over 3 or 4 years now. This particular build is one of our early demonstrators. We changed a lot. We changed the pillars on it. We've got one-piece wheels where this has got split rims on it. This is running a TVR engine, where our new ones are running RS5 V8s. And more brake horsepower. This has only got about 345 brake horsepower, and the new ones are minimum 450 brake horsepower, up to 500 brake horsepower. The car weighs 1150 kilos, which is quite light. So you can imagine 500 brake horsepower and 1150 kilos. You can do the maths and work the speeds out from there and how quick it is. Originally, I've always been interested in cars, and I got to know about this car years ago in the late 80s, about 85. A company called Venom Cars in Manchester actually hired a car and took a mould off it. Peter Jackson and a chap called Gary got involved. They took the mould, and I found out about it, and a friend I know in Darwin called Paul Lawrenson sent him down, told him about it, and Paul got involved with a guy called Peter Jackson and started building these cars. And I marketed them in America for them. Bit of a long story, and then I went my way. Peter and Paul split up, and Peter Jackson came to me and said, would you get involved with this car? And I said, yeah, and we started doing the Sienna for a chap. And then the Gulf War came and it all stopped. And about 3 years ago, before Peter died, sadly, he said he would like to resurrect the car and do it, and that's how we got into it, and this is where we are here now. You'd start from a body chassis unit, so you can purchase a body chassis unit from as little as £9,950 up to a fully built car starting at £87,000 with a variety of engines, but mainly we use Audi V8s, the RS5 engine, coupled to a Porsche gearbox. Yes, everything's sourced locally, which is really good for the economy. The bodies are local and the chassis are built by a local engineering firm. They're all laser cut and they all clip together, so you don't need many jigs. We do them in stainless, we do them in steel. The interior is full leather, Conley-eyed interior, all hand stitched locally. It's as per original. Everybody wants the original more steering wheel. If you look at it, it's a very delicate 80s racing steering wheel, and you just couldn't get an airbag into it. And the cars are only brought out on Sundays, and I think it would take away from the design if you started putting the airbags in. It has crumple zones in the front of the car, crumple zones in the rear car. It's all steel bonded into the doors, so for safety wise, we've covered that the best we can. Are they better? Yes, they are better nowadays. In the 80s, they had the old technology, the old cast iron blocks, and now we're running aluminium blocks, and it's smaller, lighter car and more brake horsepower. So technically, then you've got all the modern braking systems from now instead of from the 70s and 80s. So it is a lot better car, a lot lighter and a lot quicker, and easier to drive. On the old cars, you had to walk up to the car, you had to get a key, you had to put it underneath, you had to fumble. Now we just press a button, the doors open. We have another function where you can press a button and the doors close. Also, we've got passive where you walk up to it with your card and the doors will open. All the latest entertainment systems we can cater for, reverse cameras, LED dashes, but people really want to stay original, so if people want it, they can have it. You've got to put it through an IVA test, which is like a very stringent MOT test. Yes, fully street legal, yes. Yeah, this is built on a space frame chassis, independent suspension, it's got aluminium uprights. It's been built and designed for a road car. not to chop up a Fiero. This is built specifically for the job. First time round, probably around 500 hours, depending on your mechanical know-how, but we're looking around 500 hours. That's what we put in the manual. Yeah, we've got every single part for the car. Or 95% of the parts are in stock. We do all the glass. If you damage the car, we can cut your wing out. Headlight pods, chassis, wheels, we've got everything. Engine gearboxes in stock, door hinges, interiors, everything. We've actually people with real cars who's been buying parts off us. The hanging the doors is the most difficult part, but we have a builder now called Terry Fox, and Terry's actually on with commissioning a door, which will be a dead easy door to fit. It'll come, so it will be open and closing on the kits at an extra cost. That is the most difficult part of the doors. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Well, it's an old school driving experience. It's the old dog leg gearbox. It's not like driving a new car. You've got to really have your wits about you. The wheels on the back are 12-inch tyres on the back, and it is a real experience driving these cars, unlike driving the cars nowadays where they basically drive themselves. This is a proper experience car to drive. Why the Countach stands out is it's the most iconic 80s car in the world, and still is. And everybody just loves the car. We go to a show, we go to a car meeting, we can park next to an Aventador, and more people will want to see this one than the Aventador. Because there's a lot of Aventadors around, there's not many Countachs. When anywhere you go with a car, it just brings you, you pull up at the traffic lights and people are taking pictures. It's not for somebody who's shy and wants to be low profile. This is not the car for you. You know, everywhere you leave the car, there's people just swarm around it. You know, so many of the car's been flown in a plane from Manchester Airport to America. It's been used in movies. You know, people are constantly hiring it for movies. Everybody just loves this Countach. They didn't make very many of them, and it's always been the poster child car from the 80s, and it's just stuck with people. Another reason why we think the younger people are actually beginning to love them, because we went to a show and there's a little 7-year-old lad there and he just couldn't believe the car, and then you think, well, why would he want like something like this? So I think it is actually coming back into its own. It's a very rare and unique design.